And this is what the inscription says. If you look for a bad in people, expecting to find it, you surely will. So, the minister who was always looking for the bad things in people changed his mind. From that on, he started looking at the good of the people. So, we have to do the same thing. Not to criticize anybody, we should look the good things in a person so that we all get benefits. That is the moral of that movie. 1962 it was came out, and Hayley Mills is the girl who, about 11 years old, changes the entire town. Anyway, today's topic is Shunya Sampadane. Dr. Lingaraju has written almost 2 or 3 books about that. Shunya Sampadane has 2 words. Shunya, Virashaiva Shunya, and Buddhist Shunya. Buddhist Shunya is an empty pot, and including the pot, you don't see even the pot or what's inside. Whereas Virashaiva Shunya, you see the pot as well as full of things in the pot. The reason of between the two is our Shunya refers to Parashiva. Parashiva has everything. The knowledge of the past, knowledge of the present, knowledge of the future. Only thing is formless, as such we cannot see. I don't think any of you have seen your face yourself without any aid, like a mirror or some reflective thing. No one has seen I cannot see my own face. The same thing is true everyone. We need something to see, so that's where Lingu comes in. Shunya Sampadane, Lingaraju's, I have taken a few paragraphs from that. I will read a few things. Shunya is void or emptiness. It conveys the meaning that there is nothing, yet there is something. It is at once not or and art, not being and being. It is neither form nor formless, neither time nor timelessness, neither cause nor consequence. It is indivisible without a second. Existence, consciousness, bliss, eternal and perfect. The Shunya of Virashaivas is the infinite or the absolute, and it is equivalent to the Upanishadic Parabrahman or Paramatman. Shunya of Virashaivas is said to be identical with the Upanishadic word Purna, found in the Shantipata peace invocation of some of the Upanishads. In particular, the Ishavyasa, Bradaranyaka, and Stetavatsara Upanishads. Other terms used interchangeably by the Virashaivas are Linga, Parashiva Brahman, Parashiva, or simply Shiva. The next thing is important. Right at the onset, it should be noted that Virashaivas do not pray. I emphasize this. Virashaivas do not pray. They worship and completely surrender. We do not pray, but we surrender. When we say Om Namah Shivaya, that means we are submitting ourselves to Shiva. We are not begging. And also, they meditate and contemplate on the inner self. Use of the English word prayer should be avoided. The word prayer means an earnest request for something, as in the act of petitioning God or grant a favor. It is kind of begging God to sanction something. It indicates duality, that the individual and God are two separate and independent entities, two realities. Therefore, the Veerashaivas do not pray. Worship is not prayer. It means homage, reverence, or religious deep respect. Veerashaivas consider the worshipper and the worshipped to be one and the same. So when we worship Lingo, we are worshipping ourselves, not Parashiva or anybody. Namaha in Om Namah Shivaya means obeisance. Obeisance is bowing down and with deep respect or submission. Furthermore, it should be noted that meditation is not prayer. Meditation is to think, to consider, to ponder after stabilization of the mind. And only then the mind is focused on the inner self. This is meditation. Contemplation has a similar meaning as intense meditation. Another part to be made right at the onset is that Veerashaivas do not go to a temple to worship. Veerashaivas do not go to a temple to worship. One of Prabhudeva's vachanas make this clear. When the body itself is the temple of God, why build a stone temple elsewhere? When the breath itself has become linga, why ask for a linga elsewhere? Furthermore, Veerashaivas do not worship idols. Ishtalinga is not considered as an idol. Shunya Sampadane means attaining of Shunya, the absolute state. Here, in this article, the term Shunya Sampadane is also used to mean the text of the vachanas compiled in the form of a document or a book with a title of Shunya Sampadane. The Shunya Sampadane is one of the most important documents of the Veerashaiva philosophy and faith, and it occupies a very high place in the whole range of Indian literature. Shunya Sampadane is one of the main scriptures of the Veerashaivas. There are 5 volumes of Shunya Sampadane published by Karnataka University, and they are out of print. However, they are available from Sutur Swamiji Mutt from Maryland there. And it is in the form of stories. So I will narrate 2 of them. One is Gattivalaya. Gattivalaya wanted to examine the many Jangamas used to come for the Dasoha just to eat. So he was examining how true their Jangamas was. Prabhudeva, intervening, requested Gattivalaya not to disparage the community of the Jangama orders. Gattivalaya replied that the order should be like an ocean. It should not be upset whenever its defects and shortcomings are pointed out. The community should accept constructive criticism gladly and should try its best for the growth and betterment of the individuals of which it is composed of. The crowd, not satisfied, forcibly took away Gattivalaya's Ishtalinga from him. This is an extreme punishment for a Veerashaiva. Gattivalaya, unruffled by this, openly defied the convention. He declared, Shivalinga is the one that is worshipped in a static form on earth. Ishtalinga is the one that is worshipped in the dynamic form on earth, but that abiding within eternally upon the point of consciousness and gets worshipped internally is the Veerashaiva Linga. He placed a huge round stone at the gate, blocking it. He couldn't do it, so he took a big boulder and made himself as a linga and put it in front of the door so nobody can get in. And tied a rope to the stone and to his neck. For him, the nearest stone could serve as Ishtalinga. Gattivalaya is considered as a Lingavanta, the one possessed of Linga and does not need the Ishtalinga. Whatever Gattivalaya wears turns into Linga. For him, there is nothing that is not Linga. The second story, I want to emphasize the importance of women in Veerashaivism. They had freedom to practice, freedom to correct their husband, freedom to say, freedom to write vachanas. And one of these things here, you all heard of Aidaki Maraya, but here Moligaya and Mahadevi Amma story. Moligaya is a elder person and Mahadevi Amma, his wife, continue to lead the rigorous life of Sharanas. After the Sharanas leave Kalyana following the revolution, Moligaya and his wife continue to live in Kalyana. They spend their time in high spiritual discussion. Their cottage becomes a mini Anubhava Mantapa. They live to quite a ripe old age. After the great Sharanas have already gone before them, Moligaya wonders, how long shall I keep up for you this mission of a mortal man? See, he is asking a question to the God. Then his wife, make me a state of unity with thee. For that, Mahadevi Amma is surprised to hear such words from her husband. She brings him up to the reality, to the utter oneness where there is none to ask and none to reply. To ask to be united with reality implies duality. And so long as the duality persists, union is not possible. The ultimate union with the reality is union less union. When one comes to the real knowledge and finds that one's actions flow from the divine house in one's body and that the individual self is nothing but the divine self, then one experiences the profound truth and one's consciousness melts into divine consciousness. She continues to describe the various stages a seeker has to pass through to finally attain the absolute one. First, one has to recognize the real teacher, a guru, in one's spiritual path. Guru reveals to the one the divine enshrined in one's heart and puts Ishtalinga, the representation of the inner divine, on to one's palm. Second, one comes to the realization of the linga, the divine, which can occur only after eliminating any hatred, enmity, and violence, and purging all the evil desires and inclinations such as lust, anger, greed, infatuation, ego, and jealousy. One has to express that divine in practice. The divine expressions are love, knowledge, power, bliss, and peace. Third, when the divine is firmly established in both knowledge and action, one attains the supreme knowledge, that is Jangama. Then the sixfold hierarchy, the Shashtala, is a matter of living experience. The time comes when all the varied love, knowledge, discipline, and action consummate into realization of the absolute. If you have any question, I will answer it if there is time. Otherwise, thank you very much for giving this opportunity.